Welcome, everyone, to Wisdom and Wealth, the channel dedicated to helping you cultivate a richer, more fulfilling life, both inside and out. Many of you in our audience are over 40, and perhaps you've noticed that the old ways of chasing happiness just aren't working. Today, we're diving deep into a profound truth that can reshape your reality, the power of self-love. Before we get started, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We create content to inspire and empower your journey. A thirsty man can stand right next to a vast, flowing river, crystal clear and abundant. Yet, without cupping his hands, without making the conscious effort to draw the water near, his thirst will remain tragically unquenched. It's a simple image, yet so deeply symbolic of the human condition. In the same way, countless souls wander through life, endlessly searching for validation, love, wealth, peace, and acceptance from the external world, hoping someone or something will fill a void within. But far too often, they overlook the true source, the wellspring from which all abundance truly flows, the boundless love residing within themselves. This is not simply a matter of being kind to yourself. It's about recognizing a fundamental truth about how the world works. Zen whispers an ancient and often overlooked truth: when the mind rests peacefully in self-acceptance, embracing its flaws and celebrating its strengths, all rivers, metaphorically speaking, begin to flow toward it. This is not mere poetic exaggeration or fanciful wishful thinking. It is, in fact, a fundamental principle of spiritual cause and effect. The more deeply a person anchors themselves in inner peace, the more the outer world, in its infinite complexity, reshapes itself to reflect that internal harmony. Buddhist thought beautifully captures this concept with the term metta, or loving kindness, beginning, crucially, with the self. It's a practice of extending compassion and understanding inward, creating a foundation of self-worth that radiates outward into the world. If you're finding value in this discussion so far, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who can benefit from this wisdom. Without genuine self-love, every single relationship, whether romantic, familial, or professional, inevitably becomes a relentless chase. Every achievement, no matter how impressive on the surface, feels strangely hollow and fleeting. Every fleeting moment of joy, however intense, fades quickly, leaving a lingering sense of dissatisfaction. But with genuine self-love, even the simplest and most ordinary of lives feels incredibly full, profoundly radiant, and undeniably magnetic. This isn't the selfish, self-absorbed love of ego, which seeks constant external validation. Rather, it's a deep and transformative recognition that the very same life force that turns the stars in the vast cosmos also breathes gently through you, animating your very being. When you truly honor that vital force within you, you align yourself with the fundamental nature of reality itself. And when you are in alignment, reality, in a sense, begins to bend in your favor, creating pathways for growth and fulfillment. The Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, taught that all experiences, both pleasant and unpleasant, ultimately arise from the mind. When the mind is clouded by persistent self-rejection, gnawing fear, or crippling guilt, reality faithfully mirrors those shadows back in countless and often painful ways. But when the mind is consciously filled with genuine compassion toward oneself, the outer world responds in kind, reflecting that compassion in the form of incredible opportunities, healthy and supportive relationships, and a deep and abiding sense of inner peace. At the halfway mark here, and I wanted to remind you to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to grow your wisdom and wealth. Zen masters often call this profound principle the law of the mirror. The universe, in its vastness and complexity, reflects the very heart of the one who perceives it. Buddhist teachings extend this concept further, articulating the intricate principle of dependent origination. The outer conditions of your life, your relationships, your career, your overall well-being, all depend, in a very real sense, on the inner conditions of your mind. Therefore, by consciously changing the inner landscape, by cultivating self-love and compassion, the outer world transforms without the need for excessive force or struggle. Therefore, cultivate self-love, nurture it, and watch as the world around you begins to blossom in response. The phrase, "everything will come to you," is not simply a mystical promise or a comforting platitude. It's a direct consequence of how reality fundamentally operates. The one who deeply respects and cherishes themselves, acknowledging their inherent worth and potential, sends a silent but powerful vibration out into the world. It's a frequency that naturally attracts circumstances of harmony, abundance, and genuine joy. To illustrate this point, let's explore a teaching presented in the form of a story, The Wanderer and the Empty Bowl. A wanderer once roamed through dense forests and over towering mountains, driven by a relentless quest to find a hidden treasure. Legend spoke of a magnificent gem, radiating an unparalleled light, that would bring the finder endless blessings, immeasurable peace of mind, boundless wealth, unconditional love, and profound wisdom. Year after year, the wanderer diligently asked sages, seasoned merchants, and weary travelers where this elusive gem might be found. And year after year, the answers he received inevitably conflicted, leaving him feeling increasingly lost and disheartened. Some pointed him north, others emphatically south. Some insisted it lay hidden within opulent palaces, while others claimed it was concealed in remote, dark caves. The wanderer's humble bowl, used for both food and water, gradually became a poignant symbol of his life. It was perpetually empty, always waiting for someone else to fill it with sustenance or meaning. One evening, after another long and utterly fruitless search, he encountered an old monk sitting peacefully beside a still, reflective pond. The monk, with his serene demeanor, immediately sensed the wanderer's deep exhaustion and gently asked, "Why is your bowl always empty, my friend?" "Because I am searching tirelessly for the one who will finally fill it," replied the wanderer, his voice laced with a mixture of hope and despair. "If this is helpful to you, click that like button, it tells me that you like this type of content." The monk took the bowl, held it up to the soft, fading light of the setting sun, and said with a knowing smile, "This bowl, as it is already precious. It holds the potential for infinite goodness. Why wait endlessly for others to place something inside? Place your own treasures here. Fill it yourself, with your own unique gifts, and the world will taste what you carry within." That night, under the vast expanse of the starry sky, the wanderer finally understood. His empty bowl was not a consequence of the world's perceived stinginess or lack of generosity, but rather a reflection of his own profound neglect. He realized, with a jolt of clarity, that he had not been pouring anything positive into himself, no consistent care, no genuine love, and no acts of simple kindness. The treasure he sought with such desperation was not a tangible thing to be found somewhere out there in the world, but rather a specific way of being, a state of inner abundance that he had the power to cultivate within himself. The wanderer, in this story, represents every soul who mistakenly believes that true fulfillment is an external gift, bestowed upon them by fate or circumstance, rather than an internal cultivation, a deliberate process of nurturing one's own inner garden. The empty bowl symbolizes the neglected self, the part of us that waits passively for others to validate, heal, or somehow complete us. Before we end today, it is important to remember to subscribe, because it is a way you can take control of your life. In Buddhist understanding, craving, known as tanha, is what binds a person to the cycle of suffering. But when one consciously begins with self-love, the bowl is already full, overflowing with potential. And life, in its infinite wisdom, naturally offers more, creating a virtuous cycle of abundance and fulfillment. After that pivotal meeting with the wise monk, the wanderer made a conscious decision to stop chasing elusive rumors of hidden treasure. Instead, he began tending a small, neglected garden near a quiet, meandering riverbank. Each morning, with unwavering dedication, he planted seeds and carefully watered them, speaking kindly to the soil as if it were a living, breathing entity. At first, the plants were small, fragile, and seemingly insignificant. But he tended to them daily, not seeking praise or expecting immediate reward, but simply because they were his to nurture, his to care for with unwavering love. Days gradually turned into weeks, and the garden, to his surprise and delight, bloomed into a place of breathtaking beauty. Birds came to rest in its shade, bees buzzed happily among the vibrant flowers, and weary travelers stopped to soak in its palpable peace. The wanderer realized, with a profound sense of gratitude, that his garden had become magnetic, attracting life and joy, because it was consistently tended with genuine love and care. Soon, the very same phenomenon began to unfold in his own life. Kind strangers spontaneously offered their help, unforeseen opportunities materialized seemingly out of thin air, and even the very air around him felt warmer, lighter, and more inviting. He finally understood that the heart is, in essence, a garden, and self-love is the life-giving water that nourishes it. In Zen philosophy, the mind is often compared to a garden. Neglected, and the insidious weeds of self-doubt grow rampant, choking out any potential for beauty. But tended with consistent care and intention, and beauty blossoms effortlessly, radiating outward into the world. This directly reflects the core Buddhist teaching that the quality of one's mind fundamentally determines the quality of one's experience. When self-love becomes a daily practice, an integral part of your routine, the garden of your mind flourishes, attracting joy without the need for force or struggle. One day, a curious traveler stopped by the garden and, struck by its vibrancy, asked, "Why is it that people treat you with such remarkable kindness?" The wanderer, with a gentle smile, replied, "Because I have learned to treat myself with kindness first. I no longer feel the need to beg for respect or affection. I embody it, radiating it outward into the world." In the past, the wanderer had often endured coldness and indifference from others, mistakenly believing that he had to earn their affection or prove his worth. Now, without chasing anyone or seeking external validation, kindness flowed toward him naturally, like a river finding its natural course. The traveler, clearly intrigued, frowned slightly and asked, "But is that not inherently selfish?" The wanderer smiled warmly and replied, "A cup that is already overflowing gives more water to others than one that is completely empty. When I genuinely care for myself, I am not stealing from others. I am, in fact, creating the abundance that I can then generously share." Relationships, he explained, are essentially mirrors, reflecting back what we project into them. If you approach them from a place of emptiness, desperately seeking something to fill a void within, you will inevitably draw situations that confirm your sense of lack. But if you approach them full of self-respect, radiating confidence and worthiness, you will draw respect in return. Zen teaches that love toward others must first arise from a place of genuine love toward oneself, or it ultimately becomes a mere transaction, rooted in need rather than true generosity. Remember to subscribe to continue your journey to a more fulfilled life. In his earlier years, the wanderer had often forced himself onto paths that ultimately drained him, believing that success required constant struggle and relentless effort. But through his consistent practice of self-love, he discovered an entirely different rhythm, a natural flow where life began bringing things to him without the need for relentless pursuit. It was like standing peacefully in a flowing river that carried treasures downstream, right to his feet. Instead of struggling to swim against the powerful current, he learned to relax and allow it to bring him what naturally matched the resonance of his heart. He still worked diligently and acted with intention, but without the underlying desperation and anxiety that had plagued him in the past. This, he realized, was the essence of Wu Wei, effortless action, a core principle in both Zen and Taoist philosophy, resonating deeply with the Buddhist concept of detachment. When you align yourself with your true nature, the current of life naturally assists you, effortlessly carrying you toward your goals. Self-love skillfully removes the inner resistance created by constant self-criticism and doubt, allowing your natural talents to shine. When the mind is at peace, actions flow from a place of clarity and focused intention, rather than from a place of crippling fear, and positive results often arrive with significantly less strain and struggle. This is precisely why the teaching says, everything will come to you, not because you sit idly and passively wait, but because your actions are now harmoniously aligned with the universal current, working in synergy with the natural flow of life. We are at the end here, and thank you for watching this entire video. One evening, as the moon bathed the world in its silvery light, the wanderer sat in quiet meditation. Doubt, an old and persistent companion, whispered, "What if this self-love is just laziness in disguise? What if you ultimately lose everything?" He acknowledged the doubts, allowing them to pass through his mind like fleeting clouds drifting across the face of the moon. He remembered the wise monk's words, "When the bowl is full, storms cannot empty it. Only neglect can diminish its abundance." Self-love, he realized, was not a guarantee that life would never present challenges or hardships. Storms would still inevitably come, testing his resilience. But it was the unwavering assurance that his inner well would not dry up, no matter what external events unfolded. Buddhist practice acknowledges the fundamental impermanence of all things, anicca. Self-love does not magically control life's constant changes, but it effectively prepares the heart to remain steady and resilient amidst them. Loving oneself, therefore, is the most stable and reliable anchor in a world that is constantly shifting and changing. Years later, the wanderer realized that he had indeed found the treasure he had once sought with such desperation, not in the form of a physical gem or material possession, but in a profound and transformative state of being. His days were consistently filled with deep meaning, his relationships were healthy and supportive, and his work was a source of genuine joy and fulfillment. He no longer feared loss, because he understood that what mattered most could not be taken away from him. The love that began within, nurtured with unwavering care and intention, had manifested outwardly in the form of countless blessings, immeasurable wealth, deep friendships, and abundant opportunities. These were simply reflections of the inner abundance that he carried within. He finally understood the core truth: when you consciously honor your own soul, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, honors you back in profound and unexpected ways. The promise that everything will come to you is fulfilled not by waiting passively for fate to intervene, but by actively creating the inner conditions that naturally attract outer blessings into your life. This is the beautiful meeting point of Zen mindfulness and Buddhist compassion. Life effortlessly responds to the subtle yet powerful vibration you emit, aligning with your dominant energy. To love oneself is not vanity or arrogance. It is, in its essence, clarity, a clear understanding of your inherent worth and potential. It is the deliberate act of tending the garden within, nurturing your inner landscape with kindness and intention. It is the act of filling the bowl without waiting for others to provide sustenance. It is standing confidently in the current of life without resistance, allowing its natural flow to carry you forward. When you consistently live in that state, you no longer feel the need to chase after fleeting desires. Instead, you attract what you need effortlessly. You no longer beg for validation. Instead, you embody your own inherent worth. You no longer fear the unknown. Instead, you trust the unfolding of life's journey. The path is simple, but it is not always easy. See yourself as worthy now, not after achieving some future goal. Speak to yourself with kindness, as you would to a dear friend. Act in ways that honor your well-being, even when no one else is watching. Release the need for external approval, knowing that you already approve of yourself. Trust the unfolding of your life, knowing that the current of life flows toward you when your heart is open. The teachings presented today are not just abstract concepts. They are practical tools that you can use to transform your life from the inside out. By cultivating self-love, you can unlock your full potential, attract abundance, and create a life of deep meaning and joy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video and found the teachings both insightful and empowering. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Wisdom and Wealth, for more content like this, designed to help you cultivate a richer and more fulfilling life. Just click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what resonated with you most, and what topics you'd like to see covered in future videos. See you in the next video.